Ever watch price explode out of a tight consolidation range and thought, damn, I knew stops were sitting up there. I knew price was going to expand, but you're not really sure how to get on the other side of the trade. Let me show you today my exact range break long setup that leverages these stop cascades plus a simple mechanical target you can steal from me today. So when price is chopping like this, and especially if you have a long range, this is about a 8-day range, you're going to have people that have stops build up on either side. And once we do finally get a push out in one direction, you are going to see those people start getting blown out. All right, here's kind of my checklist for the range breakout before we even get into the actual trade. So we want a range longer than 3 days. What you don't want to see is basically we just have like a little, 1-day range and then you're trying to buy the breakout. That kind of can set you up for a trap because we don't have enough positioning that's going to get off sides immediately once we exit, and people can push it back into the middle. The other thing you want to see, look, even on this one we had it, you want to see a strong breakout volume if you're going to chase this. Again, you're kind of putting your balls on the line, to say it lightly, because your risk reward up here isn't as good, right? If you're buying at the low of the range. So you really want to see buyers stepping in, that they're able to move price. You don't want to see buyers stepping in and they're getting trapped again. Something you definitely don't want to see, right? This is a breakout trade. You don't want to get caught on the other side of something like this. What we also want to see is volume kind of drying up along with volatility. So as you guys can see, as we start the range, volatility is expansive. And then as we get longer and longer into the range, it even gets tighter and tighter, right? This is very good for this breakout setup. You want to keep getting tighter, keep kind of coiling, have the triangle meme or the whatever you want to call it meme kind of go on. And then we finally do get the breakout on high volume, right? So you want to see price contracting, constricting more and more. The more you do, the better, and the longer, the better, right? A 6-month range is even going to have a higher probability of a breakout when you do finally test the top of it. Again, obviously that's a little bit different. You'd have a daily breakout and all that kind of stuff, but just context into the trade. All right, so the first tool that you're going to want to use is this fixed range volume profile tool. It's right here on TradingView. Basically, you just draw it from the start of the range to the end of the range, and you're going to want to have the value area high and value area low selected in the settings. These are mine if you need to use them. About 68%. And then I have the row size 148. And then the high and low. Basically, all this does is just give you the range, right? That I like to mark out. It's not 100%, guys. It doesn't mean, when we get above this, you instantly go long. It's just context. So we get above this. First things I do is I draw my box. Once you draw your box, you can kind of move on to step 2. So next thing I'm going to want to do is I have this kind of hourly wick here, and I just like marking the bottom of it. This is really helpful because, even if you break outside of this little box that I drew, it doesn't mean you're always going to get a breakout, right? I want to really be buying near the highs, even though my risk reward gets skewed there for the highest probability. Once you kind of trade back into this inefficient price action here, on a TPO would kind of be called like a selling tail, you're going to get some very fast price movement through here. You can see, we broke out of the value area high, that box that we drew. We got some very expansive price action, but you can't really get in, right? Where are you going to get in? There's no pullbacks, no nothing. Are you just going to mark it in right when you see it up? No. So basically, I'm watching this level here, this 86.045. Once we get above that, I kind of have confirmation that we're actually getting the breakout, especially with that volume I showed you guys. This is a 5-minute chart. So we get the breakout, and then basically I'm just getting on the next 5 minutes red candle, and I want to see a good rotation down, right? I don't want to see something like this where we get the expansion and then the red candle's just like this and we're just marking up. Not something I'm interested in getting into. But so we had the previous week highs is basically the range high, and then we had this kind of candle, right? So I just want to get back in on the retest of this. If you do place a order right here, you are normally going to get squeezed because it's such an obvious level. If you go down to the 1 minute, you can kind of see what happened, right? We probably had a bunch of people jam in. We just squeezed them real fast. We came back down to my area of interest, and even on this little 5 minutes consolidation area, right, guys? this is where you, or sorry, 1 minute, this is where you really want to hold, right? You had the breakout, you had that hourly level that I pointed out. That's your entry right there. Your stop, I would honestly put it like right below this expansion candle. You really don't want to see it coming back off that expansion, right? If it comes back down here, that's fine, but you don't want to see this start getting filled out. If you do, you probably just reverse the whole thing. So that's your stop placement. The target for me in this trade, let me show you guys on the daily here. Basically just another selling tail. It's this kind of level here. So it's like 87,415. That was my personal sell limit. I like marketing in, and then I'll place a sell limit to get out. That's normally how I get out. This was basically just like a selling tail in a TPO chart. If you don't know what that is, throw it in the chat GPT, but these are really helpful as targets, right? So that's just something that was basically my target on the trade. So again, so just some common mistakes. Do not just chase after that first expansive candle. Your RR gets absolutely destroyed. In this case, it might have worked out if you just caught this 5-minute candle, but guys, just trust me. A lot of the times you'll get these if you get caught in that trap setup, and you just get reversed on right away. Another common mistake is not having the footprint open. Guys, if you don't have a footprint chart open one up on Exo charts, just pay for it. Extremely, extremely valuable. So guys, that was basically it. If you found any value from this video, feel free to give me a like or even subscribe. And if you have any questions about the setup, feel free to shoot me a comment.